Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another Minecraft video, and in this one I've got a bit of a message for you guys. As you know, Minecraft is a game that doesn't really have a tutorial level, and it doesn't exactly have an instruction manual. You just log straight into the game and get started. But that doesn't mean that there aren't a handful of rules and a handful of tips that can go with playing this game. And I've been playing this game for a very long time indeed, and I've picked up a large number of unwritten rules and laws for all Minecraft players, and I thought it'd be fun to share them with you guys. So let's start things off with a fairly obvious one. I'm sure you've all heard this said before, but don't dig straight down. I mean, it can work, and occasionally you can get to where you want to be really quite efficiently without running into any issues, but it's more than likely that you're going to end up in some form of lava lake, or in a ravine, or basically dying in some way or another. I've actually got fairly lucky on this one, but it can go south pretty quickly. Alternatively, if you want to create a mine, you could build your stairs like this. But don't. There's just one simple reason, in that you smash your face on every single block as you travel down. Not only does this look really stupid, but also it's a lot slower. Now, Minecraft forests are absolutely beautiful, but sometimes obviously you need to get yourself tons of wood, so you're going to have to punch out the trees. Don't leave them like this. There is nothing more painful to look at than the sight of a floating tree. Entire forests of them. If you're going to do it, just, you know, pop up like this, use the wood that you've literally just farmed, and pillar up a couple blocks so you can reach that final one. Much, much better. Now, I think we can all agree that this is a rather complicated looking redstone contraption, but what on earth is going on here? I mean, firstly, we cannot tell what any of these circuits do in the slightest. There's no way of telling what direction they head in or where they connect up to, but most importantly, can you imagine if Enderman came along and had a field day on this thing? I mean, even if one Enderman comes along and steals one dirt block, for example, this dirt block right here, suddenly the entire system is broken. Don't build your redstone on dirt. I'm going to take things really nice and easy here, just one block wide bridge, made out of netherrack, in the nether, above a lava lake, with ghasts surrounding me. I mean, that just sounds like a recipe for disaster, doesn't it? I'm not necessarily saying that you should never do this, because in certain circumstances you have to, but just be careful. I mean, that does not look safe, does it? Another thing to be super wary of in the nether regions is gravel. Gravel can occasionally generate on the sides of things like this, and if you cause it an update, yeah, it will drop, and you will plummet into the fiery depths below. I'm going to make an example of this redstone contraption once again, because there is clearly a piece of redstone missing there that should be there, and my acting could be improved, but it's definitely not a good idea to put water next to redstone in your inventory if you're working on redstone contraptions. Now, some people, when they see a lovely village like this one, come in and just start killing off all of the villages. And to that I say, what on earth are you thinking? I mean, these guys, for a start, could be very useful in the future, but also, they're often packed to the brim with really useful trades. For example, these guys with the white coats on, they actually deal in enchanted books, like Thorns 2, for 14 emeralds and a book. This guy's worth keeping. I'm gonna keep him up in this little box right here. If you live in a wooden house, don't hold a flint and steel. I mean, it's just, oh my word, that's a recipe for disaster. That spreads so fast. If you're surrounded by TNT, I also wouldn't suggest holding a flint and steel. Yeah. That's pretty catastrophic. In fact, I would say that holding a flint and steel in general is probably a pretty bad idea. Unless, of course, you want to start forest fires, in which case it is hilariously good fun. If you have yourself a house or a wonderful base like this one right here, make sure that it doesn't drop below light level 7. Now, this can be found on the light, and then if you go across, you can find the block light, and right now we are on light level 1. So we're going to need to grab ourselves some torches and do some lighting up, because anything below light level 7 can in fact spawn mobs, which is, yeah, that's generally a pretty bad thing to have on the inside of your house. Now, generally speaking, when you're pillaring up to do something, you don't tend to use the prettiest blocks in the world. So once you've finished pillaring up, and you've done whatever you needed to do, don't just jump off the edge and leave the pillar freestanding, because I mean, just look at this thing, it's horrible. If you pillar up, make sure you pillar back down again. Now to some of you out there, this may seem like an absolutely brilliant idea. You've done loads and loads of mining, or perhaps you've got a shop on a server that is doing incredibly well and you have yourself a ton of diamonds. So you've decided to build your entire house out of diamond blocks. Just don't be that guy. I mean, look at it. It's stupid. This is your mate's house. I think we can all agree that it is a little bit on the small side, but you know, who can blame him? Property prices these days are getting a little bit bonkers. He's used some nice resources and everything like that, and he has plans to expand out in the future, but the issue is that you needed some stone and some dirt the other day, so you created this. Don't take out massive areas of land without first checking out the surrounding area. Which actually brings me on to my next point quite nicely, which is don't build too close to people. There is nothing more frustrating than getting set up on a nice multiplayer server, getting your starter house built up, and then the next day you log in and there's someone who's built a massive house seemingly over the top of yours. It's ridiculous. Just give people their personal space. Oh hey, would you look at that? I found myself a monster spawner. Look, zombies, we can turn this into some form of XP grinder. It's going to be fantastic. Except it's not, because the person who was here last decided to break it. Don't be that person. Someone could find a use for that. Zombie pigmen are perfectly fine by me. I mean, they don't bother you unless you punch them, but one thing that I will warn you about is ender pearling towards them. If you manage to hit one of these guys, they will become aggravated. Thankfully, I'm in creative mode, so I'm not getting absolutely blasted right now, but if you were in survival, you'd be in many, many pieces. Another thing that you should probably be wary of is swinging your pickaxe near them. It only takes one miss swing and then suddenly this happens and they are brutal. That was 3 bunches. I didn't even stand a chance. I didn't even have a sword on me. Right now everything looks completely normal, but if I set the time to say 20,000, which is completely dark, it is pitch black. I mean, this village actually looks like something out of a horror film, and if you're wondering what's changed, it's my brightness setting. If I set the brightness to bright, which is what everyone's used to playing on, suddenly you can actually see off into the distance. Don't use Moody. Now this one is probably common sense for a lot of you, but I have seen it happen quite a few times in the past. And that is, you've got yourself an animal pen, you need yourself some food, you just start killing off all of the animals left, right and centre, and eventually you're left with just a couple of them left. Now, most people would leave just the 2 left so that you can breed them and get more animals in the pen. But some people don't, and they kill off everything, meaning you have to start from scratch. Oh, it drives me around the bend. If your favourite pickaxe has this much durability left, take it out of your hotbar, because the chances are you're going to completely forget about its lack of durability, try your best to use it, and then suddenly there goes your efficiency 5, unbreaking 3, silk touch, mending, a fortune 3, fire blasting aspect 2, whatever pickaxe. I might have gone a little bit over the top there, but let me know down in the comment section. Don't fish in general, it's terrible. I mean, why would you spend your time doing this? I've never been so bored. Don't summon a wither without being, I would say, at least a billion, maybe a couple million at the least blocks away from anything, because these things, they just, well, they completely ravage everything in their path. I mean, what on earth are you meant to do about that? How am I meant to fight that guy? He's literally just travelled off and destroyed the pig. Unless you really are rolling in diamonds, there is absolutely no point in wasting your diamonds on a diamond hoe. It may look cool, and you may be one of the most glamorous guys around, but just, it's not worth it. And while we're on the topic of things that you shouldn't craft, gold tools. Gold tools are terrible. They run out before you've even started using them. I mean, seriously, just don't bother with them. Don't build your houses like this. Okay, the number of times that I log into a Minecraft server and I just see blocks. Blocks of andesite, blocks of stone brick, blocks of oak wood, blocks of cobblestone, blocks of dirt. I mean, dirt is sort of understandable because that's clearly a starter house. But if you're using blocks like this, then you probably could have done something prettier with them. Just take a look on YouTube, check out on Google, just do anything but build a giant cube. And for the last unspoken rule of today's Minecraft video, now this one is arguably the most important, and that is, don't download my redstone builds and then put them in your Minecraft world saves folder and then record a YouTube video pretending that you have built my redstone build without changing any of the blocks. I mean, I have seen videos where they have used exactly the same colours of wool, which seems a little bit of a coincidence, doesn't it? I know where you live. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.